Pistachios used to be dyed with red food coloring to hide imperfections on the shell that were caused by their processing. It was the same food dye that enhanced the appearance of pastries and decorations, but it didn't last very long. Contact with moisture transferred the dye from the nut to the mouths of people and they didn't like it. Sardine is a generic term used for various small fish that are sealed in cans or other containers. Capri-style pants is named for the Isle of Capri in the Gulf of Naples, Italy. Minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit is the same temperature as minus 40 degrees Celsius. Fahrenheit devised his scale using the coldest temperature that he could produce using brine as the 0 point and the temperature of the body as 100. Celsius used the freezing and boiling points of water as his 0 point and 100. Neither were thinking about the minus 40 degrees, but it just kind of worked out that way. China has designated parking spots for women drivers that are 50% larger than normal spaces. And if that wasn't obnoxious enough, they are outlined in pink and have ladies' bathroom style symbols on them. According to a survey done by Boston University researchers, underage drinkers who consume Jell-O shots are more likely to get into fights after consuming alcohol, although they do admit that more research needs to be done on this topic. According to a study published in the Journal of Science, lizards' sleep patterns are just like humans. Electrodes were put on 5 bearded dragons' brains while sleeping, and they showed evidence that the lizards go through slow wave sleep, sharp waves, ripples, and rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. Andorra, Finland, Greenland, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, and Norway all have literacy rates of almost 100%. This is because their governments require by law that every young child is required to submit a compulsory attendance within its school systems. In addition, some provide free schooling up to the secondary level of education, and along with a higher percentage of its GDP being allotted for the education sector, has resulted in very high literacy rates. Supermodel Tyra Banks was the first black woman to appear on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue in 1997. The comb and wattles on chickens, which are the red dangly pieces of red skin under their chins, actually help them stay cool. The blood circulates from the body into the comb and wattle, where the heat can more easily be transferred to the air. The BACA, or Bikers Against Child Abuse International, is a group of bikers who escort abused children to therapy sessions or school to help them feel safer and supported. They even attend the courtroom cases where the victims must testify against their abusers. Garlic-flavored black Doritos were introduced to people in Japan just in time for Halloween of 2016. They come in a black bag with a haunted house, bats, and a Dracula graphic. There is a pool suspended between 2 apartment buildings in London, England. It's transparent on the sides and bottom. You can swim from one building to the other side while enjoying a view of London through almost 8 inches of glass casing. Oh god, no, that sounds lovely except for the height thing. Billy Mitchell was the first person to achieve a perfect Pac-Man score of 3,333,360 achieved in July 3rd of 1999 at Fun Spot Family Fun Center in New Hampshire. He also held world records in Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Centipede, and Burger Time. Somebody's got a lot of free time. Llamas are pack animals that can carry up to 75 pounds for up to 20 miles. However, if you overload one, it will refuse to move, lay down, and spit or hiss at you until you lighten its load. As of 2015, the Broadway show The Phantom of the Opera has had 11,367 performances since 1988. In fact, it has the longest Broadway run of any other performance. In Victorian times, police were called mutton shunters. I'm not sure if that's a more offensive or less offensive term than pig. The albatross can actually sleep while it's flying. They do this to avoid predators such as whales and sharks. Former President Richard Nixon gave up his Secret Service bodyguards 11 years after office to save money for the government. The estimated cost savings was $3 million. None of it in the Northwest Territories has the lowest graduation rate in Canada. Only 57% of students actually graduate from high school. Gene Simmons from KISS was born on August 25, 1949 in Haifa, Israel as Chaim Weitz. Computer scientists and electrical engineers from the University of Washington have devised a way to send secure passwords through the human body instead of the air. They use benign low-frequency transmissions generated by fingerprint sensors and touchpads on devices. You can actually buy a child-sized Tesla for your kids for just under $500. They created it not to make money, but as an advertising ploy. Instead of spending money on ads, they make these cars, people buy them, and advertise for them by sharing pictures on social media of just how cool their kids are. On June 1st, 1923, Canada passed the Chinese Exclusion Act, which in effect stopped Chinese immigration to Canada for nearly a quarter of a century. It was in effect until 1947. Brooks Brothers is the oldest US retail industry company that is still in business today. The first store opened on April 7th, 1818 on Cherry Street in New York City. At that time, it was called H&DH Brooks & Company. Australia's first police force was formed from the best behaved convicts. According to the American Cancer Society, the tapioca plant can be highly toxic if not prepared properly. It naturally produces cyanide, which is poisonous to humans. But the cyanide is of course removed during processing, so your tapioca pudding should be just fine. The breeding of killer whales in captivity is now banned in California. It's also legal to have killer whales perform in shows just for entertainment. In Alabama, it is illegal to wrestle a bear. You know, in case you were planning on it. Sorry to burst your bubble. The longest recorded flight of a chicken is 13 seconds. The average human bladder can hold up to 0.74 pints of liquid. The rare Japanese otten frog carries a concealed weapon. They have retractable claws that can shoot out from their thumbs. They use these claws as switchblades to fight and mate. I'm not sure how the mating part works, but Mother Nature's a mad scientist. The Grand Hyatt Cannes Hotel Martinez has a team of hawks that have been trained to chase away seagulls who get too close to their dining guests. The northern pseudo-scorpion that lives in the frigid Yukon Territory can survive without breathing for 17 days. According to a memo from a top franchisee, only 1 out of every 5 millennials, those between the ages of 18 and 34, have ever tried a Big Mac. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, y'all are missing out. That's some tasty, tasty magic. In Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, Darth Vader only appears on screen for a total of 12 minutes. The White House has its own pastry kitchen. Brigham Young University, where it's against the honor code to consume alcohol, holds Milktoberfest as a counterpoint to Oktoberfest. The celebration promotes drinking milk and doing homework before midterm season. Whoa, it's a crazy party, bro. There's a tradition in High Wycombe, UK, where the mayor is weighed in full view of the public to see whether or not they have been getting fat at the taxpayer's expense. The tradition dates all the way back to medieval times. In Sweden, you can stay in a hotel that has been converted from a 747 jumbo jet. Known as the Jumbo Stay, it has 33 different rooms that are 6 square meters wide and 3 meters from floor to ceiling. They all have flat screen TVs, access to Wi-Fi, and have private or shared showers and toilets in the corridor. Dr. Timothy Clark Smith of Vermont was so afraid of being buried alive that he left instructions to build a window looking down into his coffin. He's currently buried in Evergreen Cemetery with a headstone that has a 1.18 foot glass window that is still there today. The Logos Hope is the world's largest floating bookstore bookstore/library. It's operated by a German charity organization that has over 6,000 books. The left lung is slightly smaller than our right lung because it shares the same space in our chest as our heart. The Swiss minigun C1ST is the world's smallest fully functioning revolver. It's only 2.2 inches long and weighs 0.7 of an ounce. There's a clown motel in Tonopah, Nevada that is decorated with hundreds of clowns, and it's located right next door to a graveyard. You know, just in case you want to book a vacation. The Mako shark is the fastest shark in the world. It can swim as fast as 60 miles per hour. To put it into perspective for you, the average shark only swims at a speed of 1.5 miles per hour. A study done in 2015 that was published in BMC Evolutionary Biology found that when the spine shapes of modern humans who suffer from lower back pain were analyzed, they have spines that are similar to chimpanzees and therefore are less well adapted for walking upright. Kiruna, Sweden is actually sinking due to mining at a local iron mine, and so the town's authorities are planning on moving the whole city and its inhabitants 2 miles to the east. It's possible for some people with brain disorders to suffer from something called Witzelsucht, a German term that means joke addiction. Those afflicted have a compulsion to constantly tell jokes. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart proposed marriage to Marie Antoinette when they were both only 7 years old. She said no. Thanks for watching this, and one final reminder that my brand new limited edition t-shirt is only available for 2 more days until June 5th. And once they're gone forever. So go get yours now by clicking the eye on the screen above or the link under this video. And don't forget, I'll have a brand new video for you on Monday at 3 Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you then.